Hello, fifth graders. Today we're going to go over how to write an expanded form, how to simplify fractions, how to do proportions, and how to write percentage. So for the first one, it's going to be writing an expanded form, and we're going to be writing each number in expanded form. And number one, it says 79,490,432. And what does it mean to write an expanded form? It means basically writing a number to show the value of each digit. So what that means is 7 over here, its digit or its place of value is 70 million, 10 million. So we're going to be writing as 70 million. And then if you look at the next number, 9, it's in the millions place, so we're going to be writing 9 million. So what we're basically doing here is writing the sum of each digit multiplied by its matching place value. So if you look at 4 over here, its matching place value is 100,000. So we're going to be doing 100,000 times 4, which is 400,000. Next, we have 9 over here, which is in the 10,000 place. So we're going to call it 90,000. Next, we have 0 here, which is in the thousands place. So we're going to do 0 times 1,000, which is just 0. So we're just not going to write that. 4 is in the hundreds place. So 4 times 100 is 400. 3 is in the tens place, so 3 times 10 is 30. 2 is in the ones place, and 2 times 1 is just 2. And so that's just basically how you write an expanded form. We're going to do another example, number 3 over here. And we're going to go from left to right, just like we did in number 1. So if you see number 7 over here, it's in the thousands place, so 7 times 1,000, which is 7,000, plus 2, which is in the hundreds place, so 2 times 100, which is 200. And then 3, which is in the tens place, so 30. And 5, ones place, so just 5. And that's just basically it in writing expanded form. The next one is where we're going to be simplifying the fractions. So we're going to go over number 2 and number 4. So number 2, it says 48 over 75. So to basically simplify fractions, we have to find the GCF of both the numerator and the denominator. And we're going to divide it, and we're going to find the GCF of it, and then we're going to divide the numerator and the denominator by that GCF. So first, let's find the GCF. So 48 and 75, let's list the factors. 48 is 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 8, 12, 16, 24, and finally 48. 75 is 1, 3, 5, 15, 25, and 75. So now let's find the greatest common factor. So of these, 1 and 1 match, and 3 and 3, and it looks like nothing else matches, so 3 would be your GCF for 48 and 75. So what we're going to be doing with that 3 is dividing the numerator and the denominator by 3. So for the new numerator, we're going to be getting 16, and then our new denominator would be 25. So this is your simplified fraction of 48 over 75, and it can no longer be more simplified than this. So number 4 is 16 over 36. And again, we're going to find the GCF between these two numbers. So 16, if we list the factors, it will be 1, 2, 4, 8, 16. 36, it will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 9, 12, 18, and finally 36. Now, of these values, we see 1 and 1 appear in both of them, 2 and 2 appear in both of them, and 4 and 4 appear between them. So from this, we know that the GCF between them is 4. So what we're going to do with that is divide the numerator and the denominator by 4. So the numerator is 4. The denominator would end up with 9. So this would be a simplified form of 16 over 36. And that's basically it. So your first step should be finding the factors. It'd be listing the factors and finding the GCF of them. And you're using the GCF to divide the numerator and the denominator to find your new numerator and denominator. So for the second section is proportions, and we're going to be using cross multiplication to solve the following proportions. So for number 1, we say 4 over 5. Let's write it on the side. 4 over 5 equals x and 35. As the name cross multiplication implies, the first word implies is going to be a cross. So we're going to make a cross like this, or an X sign. And then we're going to be multiplying it as the second word implies. So we're going to be multiplying 5 times x, and we're going to be multiplying 4 times 35. So 5 times x would be 5x on the left side. And then 35 times 4, which I'm going to calculate on the right side. 5 times 4, 20, 4 times 3, 12, and 14. So we end up with 140 on the right side. Next, we're going to find x value. So we're going to divide both of them by 5. And then on the right side, we're going to end up with 28. And on the left side, we'll end up with x. So x equals 28, and that'd be our answer to number 1. Now, as for number 3, it's the same thing. 4 over 8 equals 28 over x. And cross multiplication is pretty easy to remember how to do because the name just says it all. We're going to cross it, and then we're going to multiply it. So 4 times x, we end up with 4x on the left side. 28 times 8, which I'm going to do on the left side, right side again. 8 times 8 is 64. 8 times 2 is 16 plus 22. And then we're going to write 224 here. And then divide both of them by 4 to end up with x on one side. And we'll end up with x equals 56. So that will be our answer to number 3. And that's just this. This has a two-step to it. First, doing cross multiplication, and then isolating x in order to find the x value. The third section, it will be converting. Oh, it looks like this is the fourth section. My bad. This is percent. And we're going to be converting from fractions to percent. And there's 2 steps to this, actually. The first step is converting the fraction to a decimal. And then from there, we can convert the decimal to a percent. So we're going to be doing number 1. We have 7 over 10. And looking at the first step, we have to convert that into a decimal. And to convert a fraction to a decimal, we just have to divide the numerator by the denominator. So we're going to put 7 inside here and 10 on the outside. So 10 cannot go into 7. It goes into 0 times, so we're going to be using a decimal point. So we add a point and a 0 after that. And then we look at it. How many times does 10 go into 70? 10 goes into 77 times. So we'll be placing 7 over here and subtracting this, and we end up with 0. And then looking at the decimal point here, we put the decimal point here, and we end up with 0.7 as our decimal point. So we completed the first step, which is converting 7 over 10 to 0.7, the decimal. And now we're going to be converting this into percent. So how to do that is 0.7 times 100. That is a way to convert decimal into percent. So we'll end up with something, and we'll just add a percent sign to it. Of course, there's an easier way to think about it. We just have to move the decimal 2 places to the right, which is basically multiplying it by 100. So if we move a decimal to 2 places to the right, we end up with 70 point. So that will go in here, and we'll end up with 70%. So our number 1, this is 70%. This is how we convert fractions to percent. And that's it for today.